Guys, I wanted to show you how to get started with your net. I have an order for a cast net, or not a cast net, a hook net. It's going to be a 30-inch diameter net, and I have all my mesh count and everything figured out. So he wants it out of number 9 twine and 1.25 inch mesh. This is 1.5 inch mesh board, but it's been worn down to an inch and 3/8, and the way I tie my knots, it comes out to 1 1/8 whenever you tie it. It just did. I guess I may have got my mesh size or my board wrong, but it's what this ties, and that's what the customer wants. That's what he gets. So we start off with your shuttle and your string and your board. When you load your shuttle, you see how it's already on here. There's a pin in the middle of the shuttle. You go under that, you come around the bottom, and you turn it, and you go back up. You bend the tip over, and you put the string behind it. You come back, you do the same thing, but from the same way. You go over one, you come around the top of one, and when you turn it, you come back over the top of this one. So when you turn it, if you don't do that, your string will get all twisted up in there, and then your net, whenever you go to make all your meshes, it'll start trying to turn and twist, and it's just not fun. So we've got our string on our shuttle, our needle. So we're going to want to pull off a good bit and set that in the floor. Start with your mesh board. You're going to go, I like to start with string in my hand, put the board on it, come around twice. This is how we get started. You come around twice. I will pinch that off with my fingers. If you're really just, you have to have it perfect, you can take a Sharpie and mark your 2 strings. I don't. I just pinch them down, walk them off the edge of the board, take my loop, I know where it's at, and I just tie a square knot right in there and keep my loop where it is. You can also double this back over, wrap it around your mesh board if you really wanted to. Wrap it back around there. It's kind of a pain in the butt because nothing's tight right now. Wrap it back around there and then tighten your knot down to your board. I guess that would be a better way to do it. But I don't ever do it that way because I'm hard-headed and it's faster the other way. So now we have this loop. Okay. Next, we want to trim this tag end. I have a lighter somewhere. We don't have to trim it right now. We can trim that later. Alright, so now we have a loop in the end of our string. This should be a 3-inch loop. We go to a doorpost. This is where it gets interesting, kind of tricky. I like doorpost. This one's kind of high. Well, tell you what, I can probably do it. I'm gonna do it on my toe because I've done this before and it works. I have ugly feet, sorry. So take your mesh, hang it on. I use a doorpost, a toe, whatever works. You're going to want to turn this halfway around, where it's like this, halfway around, to where this knot, it would be halfway between your fingers. Okay, hang it on the toe to hang it there and keep it there. Don't let it wobble, or because this is the trickiest part. If you mess this up, the whole rest of the net, well, it won't destroy it, but it comes out a little weird. Run your shuttle. You saw how I put my mesh board under there, and I run my loose end of my string over the mesh board and run my shuttle back under through this loop. Again, make sure that you're centered. It is. Pull your mesh board back, and then pull your string to tighten it up. Once you get it here, put your thumb on your strings and your finger under the back. Hold your board, hold this tight. Make a loop, throw the loop over, you make a loop over it, you come back under 2 to make a if you pull this tight, you'll have what's called a single sheet bend. I like a double, where you go under 2 the first one, then you come under 1. And what that does is that makes a knot. When you pull that down, you heard it snap? That knot will not come loose unless you really, really want it to. Now, we have 2 meshes. So now if we tied again using our right hand like we did the first knot, we would have a twist in our webbing. So we have to come back left-handed. We come over the board, hold the string, through the loop to make our next mesh, pull it down tight, hold it with your thumb, make your loop, come under 2 and come back through. Make sure you come back through your loop that you threw. You went under 2 and now you go under 1, and make sure that when you bring the string back around, make sure that you're always in the valley of this mesh when you go to make that knot. Now it may have gotten loose. If your mesh board got loose while you were tying your knot, just take your string and pull it back tight on your mesh board. Pop your knot. And now we swap hands to go back right-handed because our mesh is on the right side of our knot. Now what we're doing is making the first 2 rows of our mesh, and I need 55 of them. So since we're making the first 2 rows of mesh, I have to tie 110 knots. You just keep on, and you don't have to do this left-handed, alternating right and left hands, but it makes it a lot simpler because it seems to work better because you won't get as much curl in your webbing, and curl is always bad. So we'll keep on. I'm going 55 meshes deep, and what I'm doing is, when I say 55 meshes deep, if you can imagine the cast net, each panel in the cast net starts at a certain mesh depth or width and goes down and gets exponentially wider as it goes. A hook net starts out at a certain mesh count and it's tied in a circle. So once I get all my meshes set, you just keep going back and forth, and eventually I'll have all my meshes set, and they will all look like this for the whole width. And you just keep using your same board, don't swap boards, and you'll get your meshes done. And then I'll explain how all this goes in the next video. I'll be a lot further along, and then I'll show you how to tie your 2 ends together and start from there, how to start adding meshes as you go, how I add meshes, and so we'll see you in the next video.